past couple of days, Dave Jaffe has been getting absolutely wrecked by gamers. He has spewed so much hatred towards content creators simply for criticizing Dragon Age the Veilguard, and of course targeting individuals like myself, using my gender against me, saying I'm only successful on this platform because I happen to be a woman with pretty hair and a decent face. But of course, gamers are just pointing and laughing at him. And he's put up yet another video quadrupling down on his idiocy. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, David is clearly a bit desperate for attention, which I understand. He has sunk into the bowels of irrelevancy since he was once a behemoth in the gaming industry, and while I will always appreciate some of the franchises that he was a part of, I can't really say that he as an individual is somebody that I particularly care about being nice to, simply because he's been pretty rude to me. Now, I don't really care about smack talk on the internet. It is what it is, right? People are going to say things about each other all of the time, whether they're truthful, whether they're lies, whether they're coping and seething over other people's success. It doesn't really matter that much to me, but he's decided to continue to double and triple and quadruple down on his initial stance. So this really all started because of Dragon Age the Veilguard. He blamed YouTube grifters for killing Dragon Age the Veilguard, which was absurd. We did not kill the game. We simply said that it was a bad game. We are allowed as human beings to have our own opinions, just like you're allowed to have your opinion on me. You can sit here and say that, oh, I'm only successful on the internet because I'm a woman. One would assume, though, then it wouldn't have taken me multiple years to get to the point where I am now, and actually having people trust me and care about my opinion. You're just a little bit mad that nobody cares about yours. That's fine. It is what it is. But YouTube grifters did not kill Dragon Age the Veilguard. If BioWare made a better game, it would have been more successful, right? We're talking about BioWare here. They've created some amazing things in the past. Same with, we're talking about Obsidian in Avowed right now. We're talking about the company that made Knights of the Old Republic 2. Well, it's funny because Knights of the Old Republic 1 was BioWare and 2 was Obsidian. We're talking about Fallout New Vegas. We're talking about some very massive games within the industry, and these companies can't really seem to capture the magic of what made all of their games successful in the first place and kind of replicate that now. And people are very nostalgic for franchises like Dragon Age, and even though Avowed is new, it's supposed to capture that Obsidian magic again, so people have high expectations, and so far we're a little bit disappointed with what we've seen with Avowed, and we were disappointed with Dragon Age the Veilguard. When it comes to adding pronouns and top surgery scar toggles, using modern day terminology like transgender and non-binary, that's bound to not sit well with some people. Just because we're talking about a fantasy dragon game, maybe you like that type of content in your title. I'm glad you were one of the 5 people who bought it, but this really all started because he had a meltdown over the fact that YouTube content creators talked about this game and it just simply wasn't positive discussion. He thought that it should have been praised. I would disagree because I'm one of the content creators who talked about it negatively. I live streamed a whole playthrough on the channel. I really didn't have a lot of fun with it. And of course, because this happened, I responded to it like many content creators. And he decided to just constantly, try to attack me and multiple other people, like Hypnotic, for example. But now he's getting raked across the coals for some of the comments that he made, specifically that I am only successful on this platform because of my gender. And he even admits multiple times that he doesn't really know my content and he doesn't really know much about me, which, if you don't know about the person you're talking about, why talk about them in the first place? I thought you were trying to be better. I thought that you were smarter than me. Maybe do a little bit of research then. But because this has happened, he's made multiple responses that he's gotten ratioed on like this. You can dislike me because of what I said about Vara Dark from my 2 encounters with her content attacking me. I sense her large audiences based on her being an attractive woman, but that is not misogyny. Lots of women and men are talented and ugly, pretty and useless, and pretty and talented. If I was making a statement about women in general, it would be misogyny, and I would never say or think such a thing. This is just me punching shooting back at a person who punched first by claiming her most useful asset as it relates to her channel, in my opinion, is being a pretty woman, which is hilarious given people are saying things like, David, just stop, man. For someone who claims to be virtuous and for all people, you're doubling down on this and it just gets worse. Vara is not successful because she's a woman. She just puts in the work. I put a lot of work into my channel and I'm successful because I happen to have opinions that people agree with. And it's fine if people disagree with my opinions. At the end of every video, I say, give it a like if you enjoyed, a dislike if you didn't. People are not always going to agree, and that's perfectly fine. But I put in so much time and effort into my channel. I stream 80 hours a month. I stream 20 plus hours a week. I put up, 2 to 4 videos a day. And yes, that happens to be on the state of the industry, but I'm talking about all different sorts of things. I'll talk about microtransactions. I'll talk about scams. I will talk about identity politics, and I will also talk about games that are successful. I'll talk about companies that are looking to acquire other companies like Sony and Katakawa. Like, I talk about so much stuff on this channel, and there's bound to be something for everyone. But if there's not, that's fine. You could just ignore my channel, though it doesn't seem like he's really capable of doing that given he's put up multiple videos, he's talked about content creators a plethora of times over on X and on YouTube, which is funny given his major criticism of my channel is that I'm constantly spewing negativity, yet he has made multiple videos on YouTube grifters and just content creators like myself, and they are earning him way more views than his other videos. So he's doing the very thing he claims to hate, which is just very, very funny to me. Though there are multiple content creators that are roasting him. Asmongold, this is how a 53-year-old man acts. If he at least was trying to have a conversation with the people he claims to dislike and he was laying out his points clearly and concisely, people would not hate you so much, David. People would say, okay, you're entitled to your opinion, even though I disagree with it, but that's not what you're doing. There's other people like Sungrand Studios, God of War developer, suffers anti-female meltdown and attacks Vara Dark. Smash JT, God of War creator, attacks Vara Dark because she's too attractive. Side scrollers, Vara Dark versus David, Jaffe is wild. And David had just put up another video where he talks about how he has more thoughts on these content creators, and he mentions side scrollers and Stuttering Craig and goes, and side scrollers, Stuttering Craig, stumbling over his name, which is peak stupidity because he clearly knows who Stuttering Craig is. He's been on his show before, so it's either you are intentionally being stupid or maybe it's a sign of cognitive decline. So I don't know, David, which is it? See, we could sit here and go back and forth with the insults all day, but all you are doing is proving that you are kind of an idiot. Let's keep it a buck. And this new video of his, my thoughts on these content creators, is getting ratioed yet again. 274 likes to 811 dislikes. Now, most of this video is just him rambling, but there's one specific part that I thought was particularly hilarious, which was him bringing up my channel. It really has to do with the content that goes up on it, so I'm just going to very quickly play this clip because it's all that really mattered to me out of that, but it just goes to show the type of person that David actually is.
But based on what she said about me, and frankly, based on if you go to her page, I mean, most of her shit is just mean-spirited, ha-ha, fuck liberal tears, blah, blah, blah. So forgive me.
So he's talking about how most of, my videos are negative, everything's negative, but he's ignoring the 20 plus hours a week that I stream, which is about 80 hours in November, and the fact that I do that every single month. My content does not just revolve around talking about the news within the industry. The majority of the content that I create is via live streams, and I play tons of different video games: Final Fantasy 16, Lies of P, Dragon Age the Veilguard, Dustborn. I play Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like any major release, I do try to live stream. I have hundreds of video games that I've streamed on the channel, but he's talking about how, look at my content, everything's negative, even though the majority of the content that I create is in live streams, and that's me just playing video games. And he can't claim to not know that I live stream because he came into one of my live streams, was donating, asking me to bring him on a live stream. So he knows that I live stream games. I mean, he completely derailed that gaming stream, and it is what it is. I mean, that was basically a night that was drama because he went in there and he made a big fuss, though he knows that I live stream on my channel. He intentionally did not show the live tab because it would not fit the narrative that he was trying to push, which is so stupid. And I mean, everybody on the internet's roasting him, like I've said. Facts don't matter to habitual liars. I think he kind of likes you. Is this new? Is he still doubling down after you kicked him in the dirt? I mean, he's continuing. Jaffe has really lost the plot, going on over to his own video. People are saying things like, she only has a channel because of her hair and her looks and her gender. That's not sexist, dude. You just said she only has the job because of her gender. That is textbook sexism. You didn't attack her character. You attacked immutable factors like her gender. How are you a grown man and not realizing that is sexist? By your logic, the only reason Alana Pierce has an audience is because of her looks. Is this really what you want to be doing with your life at your age? So it is what it is. He's continuing to try to make pieces of content to ultimately make money, gain a little bit of relevancy, which I understand. It must be tough for him going from the top of the video game industry to not making games in years, but I will be interested to see if he actually makes any other statements or tries to cause drama with other content creators. It seems that he's not slowing down anytime soon, but for now, that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.